Well, hello, everybody. So, I've been talking about the podcast for the past week or so, and we're about to get that going on very shortly. So, this is what I call the green room chat. So, I just, respond to comments in the comment section, or I just ramble until the show actually starts. So, if you have any questions or comments that you'd like to ask me while I'm here live on Facebook and on my YouTube channel, this is the time to do so. So, today's show, I'm going to speak with a group of women, and we are going to discuss what women really look for in men. Every woman can't speak for every woman because we all want different things. So I have about seven, I believe there's seven women that are going to join me. Wait, hold on. My throat is dry. As soon as I start talking. So I have about seven women that are going to join me for this discussion today. And we come from all walks of life, different experiences, different cities and states. And we're going to discuss what women really want in men. So we'll get a very diverse opinion and input from a bunch of different people. And maybe we'll get a little bit closer versus one person trying to speak for a whole gender of people. We'll have eight of us. I know what I really want in a man. And aside from attraction, there are many other characteristics that are important to me. And one of the big ones is loyalty. And that's kind of hard to find nowadays. Another is, I want to say trust, but what I really mean is in the realm of what I do with shows and events and being out in the public a lot, I definitely need someone that trusts me and someone that's not always monitoring, my Facebook page, or I'm just getting started on Instagram. So they wouldn't have much to monitor on Instagram. But, those things are important to me. Being supportive, somebody who's motivated, somebody who is outgoing, someone who's definitely social, because I love to attend the networking events and things of that sort. And I don't want to do it alone all the time. I don't want to look like a single woman if I'm not a single woman, which right now I am a single woman. But, when I was in relationships previously, that was one of the big things for me, is that um, they didn't necessarily want to attend the events. Everybody has their own thing, and people want to go to their own type of events, whether it's step in or house or whatever. But they don't want to go to some of the events that you may want to go to, or I may want to go to. So those are my things. Hey, Thomas, bless you as well. Thanks for checking in with me. Let me know that you're here. So, yeah, today on the show, we are going to have seven women besides myself, and we're going to speak on what women really look for in a man. Now, I have debates with people all the time because for me, attraction is important. I think you got to be attracted to who you with. I mean, I'm not saying that that person has to be socially attractive. I'm not saying that, your girl's got to be like, ooh, girl, your man fine. That's not what I'm saying at all. But you have to be attracted to that person for some reason, whatever it is. Maybe they're sexy to you. Maybe, it's the way they're built or the way they walk. It has to be something about them that attracts you to them, because otherwise, how do you get to the next point? How do you get to that next phase? In a relationship, your sexual connection is important. And if you're not attracted to them, how do we get there? I'm going to see how many of the ladies share that viewpoint with me. That's always debatable as to how important um, attraction is. To some people, maybe finances is what makes that person attractive. Um, of course, no one wants someone who is dead broke. Okay, I mean, unless we're in our 20s. We're in our 20s, then a lot of us would probably dead broke, because some of you were in college, some people were in trade school, some people were working, but you was just starting out, you know, And there were times when there might have been some struggle going on. But, once you get past 40, you don't really expect to run into those same situations. You think by 40, you kind of got it together, though things do happen. Sometimes things don't always go as we plan, and sometimes you do go through things. And for me, like me, for example, when my mom got sick, I had to focus there. That's where my focus was. Um, and I moved back in with her. Actually with my parents in general. I had both of them then. And some of you remember my story because I posted about it, as I was going through it. My dad had like 5 strokes, and my mom had mid-stage dementia at the time. My mom's doing okay. She's still with us, thank goodness. Now she has advanced dementia, and she, is not at home anymore. So I've moved past that phase. But things happen in life, especially as our parents age, and you just never know where life is really going to take you. You just never know. So we do still go through things in our 40s and 50s that can set us back. And you're not always going to find somebody that's going to be understanding. At that time, if I'd met someone who wanted to travel and, do this and that and the other and wanted me with them, I really wouldn't have been able to do that. I'm more free now. But even at this point in my life, if I met someone that lived in Florida or Texas or California, though I would be willing to visit frequently, I would still have to come back because, as I said, my mom is still here, and so I'm still responsible for her. So there's just things as we get older that also affect our lives, even though it's not something that we plan. So yeah, while we may not want anybody that's, struggling or anything like that, there's still other situations that come into play that kind of limit us in some ways. So today's show is going to be about what women really want in a man and why some women are choosing to stay single. Now, I have my own viewpoints on why some women are choosing to stay single, because to some degree, I may be one of those women, and it is pretty much simply because I haven't met, I'm a little picky. And I meet really great guys. I do meet great guys. So I know some of them are on my Facebook page. You're going to see this. And it was not you. It was me. you know, um, I think for me, at this point in life, I may be a little focused on really growing my business because I did have 3 from 2016 to 2019. There were 3 years that I had to focus on someone other than myself and my business. So at this point, I'm really focused on my business and getting to the point I want to be at. I was on a Facebook post the other day, and a lady was saying that she was getting divorced after 22 years, and we get married thinking that it's going to be, our forever, but we don't know what's going to happen. As some of you know, I'm a widow, and I was only married 5 years before that happened. So you never know what's going to happen. And for women, in a lot of women in my age group and maybe a little older, we were raised very traditional. So you go into this thinking that, you know, this is your husband. And my husband was raised traditional as well. So he was the provider and all of that whole thing. And when that doesn't work out the way it's anticipated, it can be a setback. And that's what the lady in the post was saying, that after 22 years, she's starting over and she feels like she gave her best years to her husband in the marriage. And now, what does she have? I'm pretty sure 22 years of marriage, their kids are grown. So at least she doesn't have that, to deal with. But I think a lot of women are choosing to focus on their careers and develop the lives that they want to live versus directing their life and existence to a marriage. So now as will come out in the show as well, you know that single women actually live longer than married women. Yeah. So that's a reason. I think that's a good reason. You know, single women live longer than married women, and married men live longer than single men. So that says a whole lot right there. Um, Overall, they say that single women are happier than married women. You know, we don't have to worry about um, where he's at and who he's with and all that kind of stuff. You know, that is definitely a plus, because not with my husband, but in other relationships, I've had to wonder who's in his inbox and what are they talking about. And I had a relationship that I did have to wonder, where is he at and who is he with? What is he saying? You know, all that kind of stuff. I don't have those worries anymore. I go to sleep and I'm good. It's just easy to go to sleep. So those are probably things that will get touched on as well today. Like I said, there's 7 other women that will be joining me in about 15 minutes. We're going to kick off the show. What do women really want? And why some women are choosing to stay single. If there's any single women that would like to comment, uh, feel free to do so. I see Shalonda Martis. That's a plus, but it doesn't stop our desire for a relationship. Right. It doesn't stop our desire for a relationship. You know, just because I don't know which part you came in on, probably the one where I said, what part did you come in on, Shalonda? What did I say that made you post that comment? Was it when I said we can sleep easier because we don't have to worry about where he's at and who he's with? Was that what I said? Because, yeah, we still, you know, everybody desires companionship. Um, and companionship can be any longer life. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. You gonna let that man stress you out so you have a heart attack? I don't know. That might, uh, because, you know, the connections can come in many different forms. You know, a relationship. So there are many forms of relationships. So even though we may desire a relationship, that doesn't mean that we desire an exclusive, committed relationship. Um, Exclusive means that it is just you and I. So maybe you format your relationship so that it's not exclusive. Minutes before we kick off the show, so I'd like to welcome you all to the Xavier Fox Talk. All right, and today, again, we are talking about what women really look for in a man and why some women are choosing to stay single. I have 7 intelligent, outspoken, beautiful women joining me today. And from the East Coast, the West Coast, the Midwest, and from the South. We have some Facebook personalities that you will know right away, and some that you may not, but you will get to know. Hello, Michael Campbell. So I just want to thank everybody for tuning into the show. And just real quick, I want to remind everybody that I do a radio show weekly on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Mondays from 7 to 9 a.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 12 to 2. It is a great show. I listen to the replays and I'm so proud of the shows. I'm so proud of the personalities I have on the show. I have 13 different people, personalities from Facebook and Instagram that come on and do monthly shows. So each day there's a different personality on. And I also do guest interviews. I was really excited about the interview I just did this past Friday with Javon Watson. Those of you in Chicago probably know who Javon is because he is selling out shows. So he's selling out shows. I know he had a show, I believe last night or Friday night. It might have been Friday night. Black Purpose Television Network. Love to have. Oh, I would love to come on. That would be fun. So yeah, on the show, I do the shows with the 13 different personalities. We talk about everything from crypto to stock investments to sex and relationships. I have holistic health practitioners and a naturopath on there. We talk about health and fitness. So there is a little bit of everything. You know, it's all about fitness, which is your real wealth. And then we help you build your wealth with the crypto and the stock investments. And then we help you get your love life together so you won't be stressed, because stress is a major issue in your health. So the shows cover everything. So make sure that you join me for the radio shows. You can go to xavierfox.com and you can get information on everything that I have going on. So today is the Xavier Fox Talk. I do the podcast once a month. And today we are talking about what women really want in a man and why some women are choosing to be single. So let's see. I see somebody said, Vanetta, yeah, the sound is fixed now. The sound is good. You should be able to hear me. Uh, Black on Purpose Television Network. All right, Michael Campbell, well, make sure that you get in touch with me after this show. Just drop me an inbox, not right now, because it seems like whenever I get a text or anything like that, it messes with the sound. So I don't want to do that. All right here at 3:01. So we are about to kick it off. I am going to bring on my first guest right now. And
Oh,
this is
look.
the man that I love. I love. When I was off in Florida, she was my first friend. Well, my second friend. I just love her to
Hi,
death with
friend.
all that beautiful hair you got. Uh-huh. So how you doing today, Miss B? Miss
Hey,
B.
baby, what's going on? I'm doing great. It's so wonderful to be here with you today. So thank you for having me. I'm excited.
I am excited too. You know, it looks like it's nice and warm where you are.
It was 23 degrees when I woke up this morning.
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess it's not nice and warm, but it's a little better than it is here. Well,
But it's bright, it's sunny, it's beautiful. I think we're up to 50 degrees now.
oh,
Look at us.
wow. Well, we're all the way up to 21 here in Chicago.
Mm, mm.
So we are going to kick the show off. You're the first one in line. And so the first half of the show, I just want everybody to answer this one simple question. I have you guys kind of staggered as far as coming on. So my question to you right now, Miss B, is what do you look for in a man? What is it that you want in a man?
Oh, I want him to be um, eh, mm, besides tall, dark, and handsome. You mean in addition to that?
Yes, yes.
um, I, I, mm, I want him to have a great sense of humor. I'm looking for honesty, loyalty, trustworthiness, consistency, um, self motivation, ambition. Um, is somebody who is lively, who is looking forward to life and to living, and who is planning to live. I like for him to be healthy and health conscientious. Let's see. He's got to love music and like to dance. I know it seems like superficial on the top, but I'm looking for a dancer. I'm looking for somebody when music comes on, he is ready to jump up and go and dance just like I am.
Right.
Um, you, you know, I just feel like it makes you feel good. It keeps you young. I want somebody to do those kind of things with. So that's what I'm looking for, and someone who is already happy and not looking to me for happiness, but just to intensify or add to the happiness that he already has with himself,
Right.
and that exudes from him naturally. So those are some of the things.
And so I just want to kind of dispel a few myths because, we are often stereotyped. Black women are only looking for money.
Oh, I didn't mention money at all, did I?
No, you didn't. And
No,
so
that's
are
not
you,
it.
I want, men to learn today. One of the things I want them to learn today is not all women are the same. And so are you looking for a man's money and for him to just take care of you so you can sit at home and do nothing pretty much?
No, ma'am.
Hmm.
Not at all. Not even remotely. Um, that he has money, enough money to provide for himself to live an independent, comfortable life, is a good start. And then if he has enough money to do things, to me, with me, for me that require money, then that's a bonus. I really, though, can't understand why a man seeks out the company of a woman when he knows that he is not financially capable of doing the kind of things that it takes to even establish a relationship with a woman. And what is his intention? Now, if his only intention is to find someone that'll be friends with benefits, or someone that he can be a companion with and have do some things with and have sex on occasion, that type of thing, well, uh then that's different. So you have to find out what his intentions are. But if his intention is to be in a loving, monogamous, committed relationship with a woman, then he needs to have money. So I don't even say money, because I just feel like you ought to know that you got to have some money, because having a woman is a luxury. And just much like any luxury, if you got a big house, the water bill is going to be higher, the electric bill is going to be higher, the taxes are going to be higher. If you got a woman, everything increases. It costs more, but you get more. And so, to me, that just goes without saying. You got to have some money.
Because
Now,
life costs money in general.
yeah, and because of that, and because
Right.
of that.
Right. So we
Mhm.
have Miss Tracy Boylan on here with us today. How you doing, Tracy?
I'm well. I'm sorry, I was running a little late. I apologize. I was trying to throw on a face. Sometimes you can hurry and beat a face, and sometimes, girl, when you gotta
Listen,
beat it.
girl, don't say nothing. If you could have seen me 20 minutes ago trying to pull myself together, and you can't, thank God, there's no like real close up. If you got real close up, you would see that this eye does not match this eye. That I could not get the eyeliner on this eye to act right. The lashes on this eye are up high, and this one is like low and
That's so
sexy. And I'm
funny.
just like, it is what it is at this
So-
point. It
so
is,
I guess-
it's 3:48 my time, and I gotta get ready. I just gotta. So I feel you, sister. You look beautiful.
Appreciate it.
It's been a long time since we talked, Tracy. How you
I
doing?
know, girl. I have lost about 100 pounds and gained about 1,000 pounds of knowledge. Because, honey, I haven't been in a real relationship. Oh my God. I've been in Dallas for 6 years. I haven't been in a relationship since I've been here.
Okay, so I want to break the show down into kind of two parts once we get everybody flowing, because the way I staggered you guys, I wanted everybody to get a chance to talk.
Okay.
So, here's the first question, and that is, what do you look for in a man?
I look for a man that takes initiative, that is confident, and he doesn't have to be like well educated. He don't have to have a whole lot of money. He just has to have like ambitions and hustle. I'm from Chicago. We are from the land of hustle. Like,
Absolutely.
You know, if you don't got 50 cents by the end of the day, you should have $5 because you're not gonna stop hustling until you come up on what you need or what you want. So that's what I look for. I'm a very aggressive type of female as far as like what I want in my life and you know things that I've accomplished. I'm type of like once it's in my head, I ain't happy until it's done, and ain't nobody around me gonna be happy till it's done. So either get on board or get out my way. So I like a man that has that same type of drive. You know what I'm saying? So when a man asks me, well, what do you bring to the table? Or what you know, I'm like, my table is set, boo. Can you maintain this table? Can you maintain it? If I fall off, can you maintain what I've already established? And that's what I look for. I look for a man that has I never date a man who's never lived alone. If you live from your mama house to your girlfriend house, then your girlfriend kick you out, you back at your mama house or you back at your sister house or something to that effect, you have never independently. So to me, until you have lived independently, you don't understand why I'm like I am, why I'm so protective over what I built because I worked so hard for it. So until you can kind of stagger those steps that I've made or work in those steps that I've made, you don't understand why I'm like I am. You understand why you can't spend the night, boo-boo, because you know, you can spend the night, but you know, let yourself out. He's like, this is not cake. This is, you know, I got cake, you got batter. You understand what I'm
saying? Okay. And so, like I asked Miss B, so I've noticed that you said he doesn't have to have a lot of money. I kind of want to dispel a few myths that, you know, the stereotypes that Black women are just after money, you know, and they're looking for somebody to take care of them. So is the money and his ability to take care of you like front and center on what you're looking for in a man? Because I heard you say that wasn't it.
No, I don't need you to take care of me. I don't need you to take care of me financially. I need you to take care of me emotionally and physically to help me maintain what I've already established, you know, because my thing is what you have is yours. I'm not going to look at you about what you have. That you earned that. I'm not going to claim that. So don't come and claim anything that I have earned. So when I say that money isn't an issue, I mean, I'm not fishing around McDonald's looking for the, you know, the general manager or nothing like that, a big deal. However, if you make a certain amount of money, just like you're a teacher and you don't make a lot of money, but you can maintain your lifestyle and you're happy and you're content with what you're doing, because he might not make a lot of money, but mentally he might be very satisfied and happy with his career and things like that. So if he's happy with that and he's a content person, and like I say, he has some drive. Like if he says he only makes $35,000 a year and he wants a Mercedes, and he go out and take a job at Amazon and earns that, and then when he get his Mercedes, he dropped the job at Amazon, he go back to the school. I can appreciate that. That's why I said, you know, if you can maintain, and you know, money doesn't always make you happy. Money doesn't always give you the ability to make other people happy. You know what I'm saying? You can throw money at cancer all day. It's not going to cure cancer.
Right. That's true. That's very true. So, Miss B, I wanted to ask you a quick question. Are there any stereotypes that you hear floating around that really get under your skin about Black women?
Oh, that we're angry, that we have an attitude problem. Those I think those two are tops.
Okay. What about you, Tracy? Are there any stereotypes?
Honey, you bulldoze them too. The thing that we're unhappy, we're angry, we're aggressive. We're not helpful. You know, that we don't want to help the Black man, that we beat the Black man down. Also that we're not submissive. That's a lie. We're very submissive to the right individual. Exactly. You have to earn that submission. You have to prove that you're worthy of that submission.
Exactly.
So when they say that we don't do that, that bothers me, because we're not angry, but we have to, you know, we're the lowest on the totem pole. We're low. We're African American women. We're a woman. We're Black. We're beneath them in society, if you think about it. So when they come home and they're angry, we just as angry, because we have dealt with sexism. We've been sexually harassed. We're not getting paid the same. We're not being respected the same. We're highly degreed and we're the most disrespected.
Wow.
So when they say that
Agreed.
when
And
they say that we're angry, we're not angry, we're frustrated because you don't understand, or you understand, but you don't see our plight. You feel like because we're not stroking your ego. Because we got to shake off the stuff, just like you got to shake off the stuff. When we leave work, we gotta shake off, Karen all up in our butt at work too. You understand what I'm saying? And for them to go to other races and use those as excuses, that really bothers me. Because they might not be, the other races might not be as verbal as we are or whatever, but they don't have the same situations that we go through. Karen don't have those situations when she go to work. She's the boss. And even if she's not the boss, they treat her like one. And she talk to people like she's one. And she delegates her work off to you like she one. And you got to come home and then you got to deal with a man who went through the same thing, but then you have to put all that aside because you got kids. You got chores, you got bills that need to be paid, there's things that need to be done. And we are always packaging up our stress, our issues to appease our house and keep our house together. So when they say that we're angry and we're not submissive, we're mean, we got a nasty attitude and things like that, I'm like, don't talk to me, go talk to your mama. Maybe your mama can tell you why I'm like I'm at.
Lord. Well, we are going to welcome the Vonetta experience to the show. Hey, girl.
What's going on, everyone? Hello, ladies. How are you?
Hello. Wonderful, sis. Nice to see you.
So I'm kind of dividing the show up because I want to tackle different things at different points. So my first question to you, Vonetta, is what is it that you look for in a man? What do you look for in a man?
So what I look for in a man, I want someone organic. So like if we already have an organic connection, and you'll know that like off the top when you're dealing with someone, but I want good companionship, great sex, and travel. I'm at a stage in my life. I've been somebody's wife. I'm some kids' mama that I don't even want to be their mama. So like I didn't experience that half of life. I didn't a couple fiancés. That's not what I want. So my second half of life, I want good companionship, great sex, and travel. I think.
Can I change my list to match hers?
So I think like when people look at certain attributes, it's like it sometimes tunnel visions them like, oh, like he doesn't have, ambition, or he doesn't have drive, or he doesn't have this. I think we definitely have to have some discernment and observe more. But I really feel when you're at a point in your life, like I think most of you women are definitely, you guys are the table. Our table's already set up. I personally haven't had a man ask me, what do you bring to the table? I'm just not that type of woman. And when a gentleman approaches me, he's not asking me what I bring to the table. He sees a well put together woman and how I carry myself, how I speak, how I present myself. So I've never got asked what you bring to the table. And I'm a successful dater, or I've been successful in relationships or situationships or friendships with benefits because I get what I want.
Okay. And that was one of the reasons that I definitely wanted you on this show, because I know that you kind of date a different way a little bit, or have different kind of expectations. And that's going to kind of come out more on that second half once we get everybody in here. But I noticed that, so what you want in a man, the companionship and the great sex and travel. So the travel part would require some money, but that's not what you're looking for in a man, is to provide money for you. Right.
No, so I'm not looking for a provider, a protector. I'm not looking for a husband. Like I said, that part of my life has passed. I'm not looking for a man to fill that role. I no longer want to be remarried. I don't want to be in a situationship where it's like, okay, this is our life. We live together. No, I like living my luxury lifestyle, my travel lifestyle. Like for instance, I travel a lot. I've come to Chicago and met up with you in my travels. So It's like, I'm not expecting you to do what I do because I built this lifestyle. My father, I'm a daddy's girl. He's raised me when my parents divorced. He's always been there. He was just here yesterday helping me put together a couch for no reason. I didn't even need his help, but I just let him do whatever he wanted to do. So it's like, I'm very secure in that aspect of my life. Like I'm not looking for a man to fulfill that part of my life because I've already been fulfilled in that area, and that's not what I'm looking for. So that's why I said I need a good companionship, Great sex. You already know I love well-endowed men. I'm a big girl. I'm 6 feet, weighing in at 260. All the curves you want. I am the Vanetta experience. So I don't need someone that just for their procreation. I like to enjoy sex, and enjoying sex to me is having a larger or extra large penis. And a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, you must be loose. And no, I have one of the best doctors in the world, Dr. Jackie. Shout out to her. She actually wrote about me in her Queen V book. My vagina is very nice, healthy, and tight, and is well taken care of. I fly to Atlanta. Right now I'm currently in Maryland. I fly to Atlanta just to get her checked out. So I have no problem catching a flight. So that's what I just mean, travel. I mean, I get on Spirit just to go to Atlanta, but if I'm going to Texas, I'm gonna do, of course, American Airlines, Delta, whatever the case may be, or Vegas. But it's like, if a man wants to enjoy my lifestyle with me, of course, he's gonna have to have finances to enjoy that lifestyle. Like, I'm planning a trip with one of my bays to Miami in March. The trip already at $3,500. The room is $1,800 for 4 nights. It's a condo downtown Miami. We're taking first class. First class trip is $1,600 tickets. So it's things like that. It's like, hey, what's your budget? Because if you're budgeting one thing and my budget is this, we're not on the same page. You know, I'm gonna be in first class. You can be in coach. I'll meet you in Miami. You know, and it's okay. I'm not looking for him to maintain or sustain my lifestyle. But if you want to travel with me, and we planning, I need to know your budget, because my budget might be different than yours. So there's where the communication needs to be. But you can also see my lifestyle is like that too. So if you want to enter into my life, yeah, you definitely going to know it's going to take some finances or some plan. You know, I'm not going to wait a year to go on vacation with you. I'm going to be on vacation in 2 weeks.
So are there...
And what of the trip do you expect for him to pay for?
I don't expect him to do anything but to respect me. If we are discussing a trip, we would discuss those terms of what it looks like. So that's why I said, well, what's your budget? What are we, you know, if you want to take a trip with me and you say, hey, you know, I want to go to Tampa with you. Like, I got a bay. He probably watching in Houston, and we've been trying to meet up again. And it's like, hey, let's go to Tampa. Well, you know, you got to pay for your cost of your trip. I'm paying for my cost to fly down there because I'm in a different state. If we meet up in Tampa, we discuss if we're going to split the hotel costs, or are you going to pay for the hotel costs? Or are you going to pay for the food? You know, certain things, like I don't pay for food when I go out. I just, you know, sometimes I do, depending on the situation, but I'm just not. If you invite me out, I feel like you need to pay for the meal. If I invite you to a trip, then I'll pay for a meal. But we would discuss the details of the trip. But I don't expect a man to take care of the whole trip, because guess what? When he expects to leave you because you can't afford the trip back, or whatever the case may be, that's a whole different story. So I'm going to always be secure financially when I travel, because I travel so often that I don't even expect someone to take care of my travel arrangements. I'm going to do that myself. Now, if you want to say, hey, babe, I got the travel costs, let me know how it is, I'll go ahead and, you know, give you the money. No problem. But yeah, I don't expect for him to pay for the trip unless he invites me on the trip himself.
Okay. My next question, are there stereotypes about Black women that really get under your skin?
I think when I was younger, they used to get under my skin, but as I matured and grown into my womanhood, they don't get under my skin because they don't apply to me. Like when I think the young lady V was saying that, you know, we have attitudes, or we always want money. Like, that doesn't apply to me. I don't have those situations. Like, I don't have an attitude. I'm very friendly. I have a lot of female friends. I used to have guys that just be like, oh, you smile often. Like, yeah, because I'm happy. I tell men that I'm a happy person. I'm going to be happy before you. I'm going to be happy during our situation. And I'm going to be happy after this journey, because I'm just a genuinely happy person. So I wonder what type of women they're around, because I'm around happy women. So I don't get those, you know, stereotypes. I don't hang in that flock of hens or so forth that they, you know, run into. At one point, the one with the, oh, I'm dating another race because it's not a lot of quality Black women. I would feel bad if I was the other race for you dating me because of lack of whatever in your community. Date who you want to date. And that's what I tell women. Date who you want to date, or who wants to date you. I would never want a guy to minimize me and say, oh, well, there's no women in the Muslim community I want, so I'm going to just date you. I wouldn't even feel like, I would have to check him. Like, don't just date me because of something else. Date me because you want to date me, not because of, you know, something else is lacking. So he needs some healing. And that's what I would check a guy in the beginning. Like, if he even mentioned something like, oh, I'm only dating you because of this. Well, where's their self-esteem at? Like, there's some white women, they might feel proud, like, oh, I want a Black man. Be with him, honey. You need him more than I do because I'm not lacking over here.
I feel like if men really thought about it, if we were dating for money, if we were actually gold diggers, we wouldn't be dating black men. We'd be
Well, this
dating
is another thing
Italian
too.
True.
We'll be
This is another thing too, V. I date a lot of African men. There's a whole continent of black men out here, and we minimize ourselves to this little group of African American men. I date African men. Nigerian men are actually one of the richest black men, if we want to look at, culture-wise or whatever, on this continent. So it's like, you just got to pick the right Nigerian because some of them be scamming. But so you have to you have to be open. So like I said, I date African men, Caribbean men, and black men. I mean African American men, sorry.
Wow. Okay. So I am gonna start with, I'm gonna bring Miss Kelly on because I know you told Nicole that she needed to get her butt on here.
Yes.
She still ain't here.
She at brunch.
Her butt.
Hello.
Hey Kelly, how you doing?
Good. How's it going, Miss Fox?
Oh, it's going great, doing my thing, what I love to do. So I'm going to start with you with the questions, and we're going to see if everybody else just go fall in from here. So what is it that you're looking for in a man? That's the first question, because I want to divide this up a little bit.
All right. So I'm not looking for anything at this time. However, if I were to look for something, my first and foremost characteristic would have to be someone who absolutely believes in therapy or coaching, because there's too many unhealed, broken, mentally unstable men out here. So they would have to understand that everybody has had a toxic childhood, and everybody should have a therapist. So if he doesn't believe in that, he cannot make it in my space, period. Because that means he's going to project all of his messiness onto my life. That's the first thing. Second thing will have to be transparency, because intimacy is beyond the bed, right? If you can't have a deep dialogue with me about your deepest fears, or about who you are, or about, your dreams and aspirations, things that you want to do, or things that you wouldn't necessarily tell everybody about, you're not allowing me to connect on that level with you. Somebody who is truly emotionally open and not withdrawn or walled off, because you can't connect to somebody like that. So connection is very important to me. However, you have to be in the space of feeling safe with your inner child, or your inner child has to be safe, right? The little boy has to feel safe to open his heart up to give to a woman. These are things that are like at the top of the list for me, because in the absence of those, you can have all the money, he can have the best dick, he could be fine. But if he has unhealed childhood issues, he's going to cause secondary trauma to a woman. So there has to be healing for me. There has to be open-heartedness and, being able to connect. There has to be communication. Don't wait until, if I do something to you or something that bothers you on February 2nd, don't bring that shit to me March 2nd. You should have brought it to me February 3rd. Let's talk about it, because what happens is you hold on to that. Now it's festering in your head, and now you're creating more thoughts around it and more negativity, and then you're blowing up at me. So somebody who is not afraid to rock the boat. If you're worried about hurting my feelings, I'm a big girl. Tell me how you feel, right? Talk to me. Let me know what's going on so that we can work through some things. Money, you got to have a job. I'm not interested in taking care of a man. We could take care of each other. I'm not seeking anybody to make me happy, because I make myself happy, but you better have some happiness within you, because if you don't, you're going to give me the bullshit that you have inside of you, right? So somebody who is in a space of happiness, they're in a space of confidence, they believe in who they are, somebody who knows how to build, because women, we have a lot of stuff going on in our lives, right? And some days we need to come home and have somebody build us. We don't have to always be the builder. Maybe we need to be, empowered sometimes. So somebody who has that skill that he can say, well, baby, you had a bad day. What can I do for you? How can we bring your vibes back up? What can we do for you? And I want somebody who could take care of their health. I cannot vibe with somebody, and I'm not being judgmental, but I cannot vibe with somebody who looks like they're 8 months pregnant. Because what that means to me is you're
Your
eating
dick
a
is
lot
real
of.
short. That's what it means. The bigger your belly, the shorter your dick. Now I'm only
And
kidding. I'm teasing.
I not. I mean, that's true though. But even more deeper than that, I ain't trying to take care of you if you have a damn stroke or heart attack because you want to keep eating garbage. Learn how to take care of yourself. I ain't your mama. I ain't trying to take care of you. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not no camel. I don't ride camels. I ride men. I don't ride camels. So you got a big old belly and that's a hump. I don't even have a big belly. I had 2 kids, a couple surgeries. My belly is nice. So I'm like, I'm not riding no camel, but that does show signs that you're not.
Yeah, that's a sign you're not taking care of yourself. You're not. That's going to lead to diabetes. That's going to lead to heart disease, hypothyroid. It's going to lead to a lot of physical dis-ease. And I'm not your mama. You need to know how to cook. If you don't, take some lessons. Because I ain't in that stage to be cooking like that. I've been married 10 years, getting a divorce right now. I'm not in that stage of trying to, my son is 20. He's in his own crib. I don't have to cook for him. He take care of himself. Be able to take care of you. You know what I'm saying? Understand finance. Know how to get the rent paid. Know how to get the bills paid, the light paid. Know how to multitask. Just don't be a damn lump on the log. Because there's a lot of brothers out here who didn't have their fathers in the home, right? And then the mothers were doing the best they could, right? And maybe not doing the best according to the son, but she did the best she could. But however, there's a lot of lack in those men. And then they come to us, and then when we don't want to give them what they desire, we're wrong. We're the angry ones. We're not submissive. No, get your shit together. Go get a therapist. Go get a coach. Go get whoever you need. Go get Reiki. Go get a pastor. Go get somebody to help you heal, so that when you come. Personal trainers, exactly. Go get a nutritionist. Hire the people. Invest in your wealth. Invest in your health. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who puts his health at the top of the list. I'm not a bottom line person. I mean, we can make money. Money's easy to be made. But at the end of the day, he has. Top of the list, health, that emotional connection. He got to be able to move through his negativity and his mindset, because we all got some negative thoughts. They can always flow in and flow out. You got to be able to move through these things, because everything that I'm naming, if he don't, he's going to be projecting and stressing a woman the hell out. And I'm over that. Come with some joy. Bring me some joy, baby. Bring me some good loving. Bring me some hugs, some kisses. Take me on some trips. We can do that for each other. But save all that other stuff for your therapist. I'll support you, but I ain't interested. Leave that over there. Go fix that. Fix that.
Okay. So I have Miss Kiana Thompson on the stream now. And I see that my little internet capability is becoming overwhelmed. But so we're going to start. I'm going to finish up with Kelly, and then I'm going to ask you the questions, Kiana. I just wanted to acknowledge that you're here. So, Kelly, I didn't hear you say a lot about money. You said that he couldn't necessarily be broke. So you're not looking for a man's money or looking for him to take care of you?
No, because I take care of myself. He can add to my lifestyle, right? If I'm making 80 a year and he's making 50, that's $130,000 a year. We could do wonders with that. He doesn't. I don't need you to take care of me. I need you to be in a space with me where we can uplift each other. You know what I'm saying? If I fall, you got me. If you fall, I got you. It's got to be balanced. Just looking for balance in all areas. But I don't need you to have a whole bunch of money, because if it's something that I want, I'm gonna go get it myself.
And so are there stereotypes that about Black women that really kind of irk you?
Not really, because at the end of the day, that's their dream world. That's their dream world. I ain't got nothing to do with their thoughts. I'm my own woman. I'm an assertive woman. I think the word strong should be redefined, because, when we talk about women being strong, we're talking about somebody who appears to not need assistance. And that word needs to just be removed, because I don't think Black women want to be perceived as strong anymore. We want people to help us sometimes. Maybe we want to cry. Maybe we want to just sit on the couch and just be in self-pity for 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I just think that word needs to be removed. But other than that, none of the, they stereotypes. So, that's their mindset. So I don't, we deal with enough of that in the white world, right? I'm not dealing with it in the Black world. I'm just not. They can get over themselves.
All right. So, Kiana, we're going to move on to you. So what is it that you look for in a man?
I'm like a lot like Kelly. I am definitely not looking. I'll be doing it. I make fun, but no, I'm not looking. I think that people need to be aligned. So what I want in any relationship, whether it's a man, whether it's my friends, whether it's a family, is that I want that alignment, that space where I get to be who I am without judgment, and they get to be who they are without judgment, and we come together and make some shit happen. Creativity, right? Authentically, transparently. And that looks different for different people. Everybody's not going to vibe together. So I'm looking for somebody who is able to maintain and raise their own vibration. Every good story starts from life experiences. So someone who's had life experience, good, bad, ugly, and different, and still know how to have fun, right? Like been through some stuff, learned some stuff, but still smiling, still happy. Wanted to share, wanted to have their peace and joy, and know how to maintain that without leaning up against somebody else. I heard a lot of women say, I was listening to you guys, that not being the mom, right? Not being a mom, or having them want to be your dad, right? That comes from a place of lack when we don't have a dad in the home, whether you were the woman or the man. If you have a strict mom, a single mom like me, I was raised by a single mom, right? So I didn't have a dad in the home, so I come with my own daddy issues. So I had to go through a lot of life lessons and a lot of relationships to learn how to deal with that on my own. And so to meet somebody who has those same type of traumas, but have learned how to heal from them, grow from them, and still laugh and smile is something that is absolutely magnificent. Can you guys hear me? I can't hear you.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, there we go. Yep, I hear you. Okay.
I think.
Okay, yeah, my
Xavier
internet
is
connection over
frozen.
here.
Here
StreamYard
she
is
goes.
sometimes horrible with depending on how many people you have on the stream. So I'm working with it. Keep going, Kiana.
So yeah, no, that's it. I just think that like I'm not in the space of looking. I'm enjoying my singleness. I have been married 18 years. I've raised 3 wonderful, amazing human beings, 2 I gave birth to, 1 by marriage. They're all, grown and older and figuring out life. And so now I'm figuring out life too. And so it's just fun. I'm just enjoying this. If I meet somebody, I do. And if I don't, it's okay. Like everything is it's just good. And I'm enjoying it.
Okay, and so my next question for you is I didn't really hear you mention money, even though I did get kicked off a couple times because of this internet connection or whatever. But I didn't really hear you mention money. So you wouldn't be looking for a man for his money or for him to take care of you then?
So let's back up. So I did not mention money. You're correct. However, money is very important. And taking care of me. So I think that's like a double-edged sword. I do want somebody to take care of me, right? I do want to be able to rest in my feminine energy and be supported by a masculine energy. So for me to say like money isn't important or he could be broke, I would be lying. It's important. I'm not broke. Not mentally, financially, spiritually, none of that. I've done the work, right? And so to me, the man who has done the work, he will be financially wealthy. He will be spiritually wealthy. He will have a platform, however that looks for him, however he's created it, right? It doesn't have to be the same as mine, but energy wise, vibe wise, we would definitely have to be vibing and not only already have wealth in a sense of money and a sense of intellectual property as well. So wealth comes in, different forms, but we will also have to keep creating that thing. So it's one thing for us both to come to the table with that. And I do want the man that's for me will definitely come to the table with that. But then he's also going to see my wow feminine energy and be like, oh yeah, this is going to help us grow even more and come with his structure. And we're going to put that together and we're going to blow this thing up. So yes, money is definitely important to me. And I do want somebody to take care of me. And I want somebody that I can take care of, and not in the sense of mothering or fathering, but in the sense of being in alignment and loving each other and growing with each other and expanding who we are spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially.
Okay. And so when it comes to the stereotypes about Black women, are there any stereotypes that really irk you?
That really irks me. You know, there's so many, and I don't really like subscribe to those things anymore. But I do think the stereotype of especially Black women having to like take care of people in a mothering sense, or having to take certain things because you have to have a man or something like that. Those type of things irk me. I do think that you can be a strong, capable woman and still be very vulnerable and still be very loving and still need people. We all are connected. We're all are technically one, so we do need each other. So to have to be that stereotype of like you have to do things alone, you have to be strong, you got to take care of your man, you got to do this a certain type of way. I think anything that puts us in a box, right, is like, let's just bust out of that. Every individual woman, no matter what color, no matter what your sexuality, right, it just doesn't matter. Like, we have to stop putting ourselves in these small constructed boxes of what programming says that we need to be, what our society says, what politicians says, what our parents said, what our church said, what whoever said, and then we're like, right, and try to live up to these like unrealistic standards that does not even make us happy or bring us inner peace and joy. So just whatever, just like bust all those boxes open. Those all made me mad.
Okay, this is really a great conversation, and I want to keep it
Xavier,
going.
let me
I'm
back
trying
you.
to figure out how to make sure that we don't blank out anymore, and it seems that I can only have a total of 6 people on the screen, even though I can have 10 people in the studio. So that is throwing me off a little bit. So you might wind up backstage for a minute, but I'm gonna bring you back on. Don't worry about it. We're gonna keep going. Hey, Brandis.
Hi, Xavier. Hi, ladies. It's
Hello.
very nice to be
How's
here
it
with you
going?
guys.
Mm.
Hello, hello.
I have not talked to you since, what was it, the second Sister Circle. Brandis did a talk show years ago. I think a few of you have done my talk show. Pretty much all of you did my talk show. Yeah.
We're
Hey,
sisters.
that's right. So the first question is, what do you look for in a man?
Okay. First, I want to say that it's also everything you ladies have said is so beautiful to me, and I just have so much love and respect for the diversity of preferences and options, and it just really kind of brings me to a place of saying, when guys say that they can't find a certain kind of woman, we're not a monolith. We're so varied. To go back to what I say is for me personally and where I am in life, I'm looking for someone who integrity and character are huge for me. Who are you when no one's looking? Who are you? Like, what kind of person are you truly and genuinely? How do you conduct yourself? Not just at home, but also in business, with your friends, with your family. You know who a person is, their character, their integrity. And I also love a disciplined man. I love a man who can set a goal or say he wants to do something, or even if it's as simple as getting up and going to work every day, but you are so disciplined in that, rain, sleet, hail, snow, you show up and you're responsible. I love that characteristic in a man. I'm a very spiritual person. So to me, your spirituality is paramount. Whatever that is, I can be somewhat flexible, although I am kind of like a Christian based spiritually open person, right? I kind of have my own systems and set of religions and things, and I draw a little bit from here and there what makes sense to me, and when it resonates, that's my truth, and I own that. And so I'm here for someone who, what is your truth? Where are you? So I can know what I'm really getting myself into. I want to see who the inner you is, and see if our inner people match with each other. So that's really important, and I think that's part of, like, as you move forward in a relationship with someone, for me, sometimes when I don't know what to do out of my humanity or for what I didn't see or wasn't taught, I go to my spiritual place. You know what I'm saying? To say, what is coming from inside of me? And I feel like we really need to be aligned on that, because if that comes to me, can be a very critical thing that affects a lot of other parts of the relationship. When it comes to finances, I prefer to be with a man who has financial means. it doesn't, I'll be lying. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like sometimes as a Black woman, you are so beat up for saying that you want a man of means who can take care of you. But that's just really what I want at this point in my life. That's where I am. I have a lot of respect for all the phases though, right? Like I totally don't judge. I've been at different phases where this is not what I needed at the time. But right now, what I'm trying to go, I would like to build with someone. I would like to experience life with the real partner. Partnership on that list is huge for me. And partnership is really just a matter of, what do I have? What are my strengths? What do you have? What are your strengths? And not only how can you complement me, not only how can you make me a better person, how can you help me, but how is it that me just being myself is actually everything you need? And how does that work out? What if I can see where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do, and I'm like, bam, I got it. You know, then our relationship and our growth becomes fun for the both of us, because we just get to be ourselves, and we end up having so much great synergy and energy to go along with the love, you know, that we can build something. And his life goals are super important too. Whatever anyone's life goals are, you just want to make sure that you guys are matched. And sometimes I think people assume that everybody wants to go where they're going, or everyone wants to be where they're at. And I think in people's hearts, everybody wants to be great. Everybody wants to be successful, but people have different ideas about what success is and what that means and how that physically looks and shows up in their life every single day. So I wanted to make sure that we are aligned on what we want out of our lives and our daily lives in that regard. So yeah, that's just kind of a rough etch of what I personally am looking for. However, I just want to say that I think I love men and I think all men have value. And at the end of the day, I want to see Black men grow and develop themselves as much as I want to see Black women grow and develop themselves too.
Okay.
Here, here.
I just wanted to say to the ladies, I am taking some people out of the screenshot, but you will come back into the conversation. I'm trying to get the sound quality up. And so for whatever reason, you know, I think my next one is going to be on Zoom, because I don't have these kind of issues on Zoom when I do my other shows. But I just kind of like the setup on here. Anyway, so Brandis, I have another question for you, because you did mention money. So I'm not going to ask the second question. I'm going to go straight to the stereotypes. So are there any stereotypes about Black women that really just kind of irk you?
I guess so. Nothing really irks me. I honestly, at this point, I find it so funny, you know, because I'm like, if you're trying to go by other people's opinions as a Black woman, well, good luck, honey. I don't know what you're going to do, because everything that you do is wrong. And for whatever side you're on, there's someone who says, oh, all Black women do is wear dreadlocks and talk about burning incense. All Black women do is have brunch and twerk on couches. All Black women do is have babies. All Black women do is travel and not want to have no kids and settle down. Your hair too nappy, your hair too weavy. I'm like, you know, you're just going to have to be yourself. So it's kind of funny to me now, because I'm like, what else do you have? You know, I hope that Black women can see that it's just it's an illusion. It's not even real. It's a freaking game. And I don't think it's even designed for us. It's designed for the people who perpetuate, to keep themselves busy and having something to do. Because I see Black women out here choosing who they want to be and living their own life. And I think that's freaking healthy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I am trying to bring Miss Nicole on, but it seems like she's our missing piece, and she's backstage. Let's see, can somebody tell her? Vanetta, can you tell her?
I can hear you. Can you hear?
I can hear you, but I can't see you. This is visual.
You know I'm at brunch, so I'm not in it's too loud. That's why I don't have the camera on.
We need to see you, girl. This is a visual show.
I know. This is a videotape, Nicole.
Right.
I'm literally in like a dark bathroom.
We want to see though.
Oh,
We
y'all
wanna
want to see the dark bathroom? Hold
Yeah.
on. Okay, let me see how I can.
How you in the bathroom? Like, get out the
Yeah,
bathroom.
it's too loud. I couldn't do it in the bathroom. Let me see how I.
But was she like using the bathroom?
Hey, what's going on in the handicap stall?
Nice pictures
Okay, well, I won't keep you on long. You're not in a quiet, well-lit area like the
Turn your face towards the light.
I'm in the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom. This is the light is very dim here.
Okay, there you go. That's good right
There you go. Right there where you
Right
were.
there, right there.
Right here.
Okay.
Oh,
So
your head
first,
back.
the first question is, what do you look for in a man?
Oh wow, that's a great first question. I look for, in terms of physical, or are we talking about the whole composite?
The whole thing. What
Personality. I love a man who is intelligent. So that quality is very important to me. I love a man that I can have an intellectual conversation with, but I also love a man who's funny and has a personality, because I'm both. I love to have the long 4 a.m. conversations, but I also love someone that I can laugh with, that I can joke with, someone that can do a little bit of both. So those are the qualities that I find highly attractive. Someone that doesn't take life or themselves too seriously.
Okay, and so I noticed that you didn't mention anything about money. So you're not looking for a man for his money or looking for a man to take care of you?
No, I've never looked for a man for his money. However, with that being said, I need him to be able to take care of himself and potentially take care of me. So I do need him to be, financially stable. But do you have to be rich? No. Do you have to make $200,000 annually? No. I dated the guys in the struggle, and that's not where I want to be, because I've done that. So for me, he does need to be stable financially.
Okay. And so my next question is, are there any stereotypes about Black women that just kind of, irk you?
I think the sister that just spoke, I think she kind of covered them all. I love those. All of them are absolutely hilarious. But I do think the number one, I'm so sick of, and she did mention it, the whole gold digger narrative. Black women as a whole are not gold diggers. I'm so sick of us focusing, and it's mainly in social media. I don't know. I haven't seen it so much in real life, but in social media, the focus is always on, the 1 or 2% of gold diggers, which to me is not a reflection of majority of Black women. The majority of us, we are willing to work with a man. You do not have to be a millionaire. You do not have to drive a Bugatti. You don't have to drive a Bentley, whatever. The majority of women I know, and I think this is the majority of Black women, just want a man that's going to treat them right. I don't know many women that are stuck on the financials. There's a segment that is, but I don't think that's the majority. And I'm so tired of that being the focus of these conversations.
Okay. All right. And so since that you were the last one in for, and because you are where you are, wherever the heck, I'm going to kick off the second part because it's almost 4 o'clock. And this show always runs over. So ladies, I hope you have at least another 30 minutes. We'll get through the second half. But I'm going to start with you, Nicole, with the second half. So why do you think a lot of women are choosing to stay single nowadays?
I don't know. Is it a choice? Well, maybe. I think I feel as though we have created, myself and my peer group, we have created a very rich and fulfilling life for ourselves without necessarily a man or a husband. And so it's kind of like you reach a certain point in your life where it's like, my life is good. So in order for me to not be single, the man has to be offering, something better than what I'm already experiencing on my own, or equal to what I'm experiencing. So to me, it's like a no-brainer, right? Like, I have a good life, so why do I have to be with someone that's not enhancing what I already have? And I think a lot of women who are in this space, that's pretty much where they are with it, right? Like, I've already created a good life. My life is full. I have a lot of different things going on. So if I'm bringing a man into that mix, then he needs to be adding to that experience. Or if he can't add to the goodness, then I really don't need him in my life, right? Otherwise, what is the purpose? And I think that's where a lot of single women are at this point. What is your purpose if you're not adding to my already good life?
I agree. And I agree that is the reason that a lot of women are staying single. Okay, Nicole, your thing. So we're on the second half. I already got your response. So you can go ahead, have a mimosa for me.
Yes, I surely will. For all of y'all having that, baby.
Hey, honey. Look
We
at
gotta
hey,
get
here,
together
good
soon.
girl. Hey, girl, hey.
Okay. We'll talk to you later then.
Yeah, talk to y'all soon. All right. Bye, y'all. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Miss B, I'm gonna go back to the top.
Well,
So
we
you
hear the
were the first one with us, and so I want to know, why do you think that more women are choosing to stay single nowadays?
I certainly agree with our dear friend who was in the bathroom. Because they've been there and done that. And so the man who comes into our life now is going to have to match where you are, or bring more. And so we choose to stay single until we can find a match. And so maybe the choice is not a forever choice, but it is a for right now choice until somebody matches, until something fits, until it clicks and it's right in every area that you have defined that it needs to be right in. And until such time, you're just better by yourself.
Okay. Tracy?
Yes, ma'am.
What are your thoughts? Why do you think more women are choosing to stay single now?
I want to piggyback off Miss B. I think a lot of that is valid. And I just think that we're in 2022 now, and a man doesn't validate us anymore. You know, it used to be back in the days that you was nothing if you didn't have a husband. What was wrong with you if you ain't got no man? You know, that you were coming off as a failure, or it was something wrong with you if you didn't have a man. And I think now, when we realize that we can do it alone, not that we want to, but we can.
Right.
And that we don't need a man or a relationship to be validated anymore. And I mean, even to the point where the young lady said she wants to travel, you know, hey, I you know, you can come roll with me, but then you gotta go home. You know, and it used to be that men would offer us a trip, and then we felt obligated to have sex with them, and we didn't feel like we could say no. And you know, we know we were like pushed in a corner to just kind of like appease them because they were taking care of us or they were doing something for us. And now that we can do it ourselves, we kind of like make those depictions now. You know, I tell a guy every time, hey, I ain't letting you out. You know, lock the bottom lock on your way out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's the kind of like the roles have reversed, but I just think that right now women doesn't need the validation of a relationship, and we know we're doing fine. Like I said before, we're more educated. We travel more. You know, we raise their kids. You know when the men, we raise their kids, and you know a relationship is not mandatory right now. I mean, in our lives, we've proven that we can do it out.
All right. I agree with that. I agree with everybody so far. I'm gonna give mine last, probably after everybody else is gone. I'm gonna move on to Brandis. Why do you think that more women are choosing to stay single?
I think that Black women are learning how to love themselves. I think that Black women are taking the time to examine their lives and figure out how do we get here, and how do we transcend. I think that Black women are taking that time to really figure out what it is that they want and what they like and who they are, and who are they outside of what everybody is telling you that you should be. That's a huge thing, because can the Black woman look to the left or the right without someone giving an opinion of who she should be and what she should look like? And so you have all these ideas in your head. And I think Black women are finally starting to say, wait a minute. I don't know if I'm everything right with the world, but I got to be everything right with me. And that is a process that doesn't necessarily always allow for you to piddly pat with every Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes along. Now if you see someone who is reflecting the love that you have for yourself or that you're developing in yourself, and you guys seem like you want to roll, I think a lot of Black women are very open to that right now. We are open. I don't think that we are throwing it in the trash as a collective, but I think we are just fine. We are fine. We are learning how to be ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And if that right person comes along who's on that vibration, they are. And I also think we're not being desperate or thirsty. Like we're not just accepting anything that comes along for the validation of having a man. We're really trying to figure out how to be self-sufficient. And I think we had to in order to survive, because nobody was coming with a cape on to rescue us, to save our children, to pluck us from the obscurities of the white man's world. Nobody was coming. And so we had to really go within to find our own power. And I think now we're also learning how to do it in our own brands and flavors, whether, that means you are learning how to be in your extra feminine, or if you've decided to take out your big Black woman dick and swing it all around. I'm here for whichever version of those that you want to do. But I think that has a lot to do with us just prioritizing ourselves more in our lives. And because the reflection was not there. I think when Black women start seeing the reflection that we see of ourselves, the beautiful, wonderful queens and goddesses that we are here on this earth, we are the blueprint for life on this earth. They can't eat, drink, or take a poop, I'm trying not to curse, without copying and emulating everything that we are and everything that we do. And if we don't, we have to own that. We just have to own that. And whenever someone around us who wants to mate with us is reflecting that back to us, then I think we'll see a lot of different things. I think some guys are there. I think a lot of guys are needing some time to really adjust to that and figure out what that means to them and their self-image. So I think we have a timing issue at the very least here.
Okay, that was real good.
That was real good.
That was. Kiana.
Especially that swinging the dick around thing. Yeah.
Yes, honey. Sometimes you just need to show them who got the bigger dick. They don't like that, but hey, that's life. It happens sometimes.
Yes, it does.
Kiana, I read a post from you. I think it was yesterday or day before, because I know you're on vacation. You might still be over there. And somebody had asked you, did you meet Pedro or somebody like that? And you said, no. I already spent blank amount of years being married. I've already had plenty of penis. So this is about me now. So from your perspective, why do you think more women are choosing to stay single now?
I think for women, especially, I hate to use the word older, more experienced women, 40 and up, right, who have been there, done that type of thing, are, like, I think one lady said, like, learning more about loving themselves and redefining what it means to be in a relationship, redefining what marriage looks like, even what motherhood, looks like. Being, again, put into that box of thinking that you have to do things a certain way. You have to, if you're a wife, it has to look like this. If you're a mom, it has to look like this. And I think, as when I was younger, I got pregnant the first time when I was 17. I had my daughter at 18. It was like, oh my God. Everyone's like, your life is over. It's over. Right. And I was like, it wasn't. It was just getting started. I was just getting started. And then I got married at 24. And I remember my ex, at that time, he was like, we were living together. And he was like, we're living in sin. And I wasn't like a religious type of person or whatever. I had like, I was trying to figure stuff out. I was 24. I was trying to figure out spirituality. But I was like, I loved him. And I was like, well, okay, well, you want to get married? Let's get married. And so again, we put ourselves inside of a box. And somebody else said that you're doing something wrong, right? And so I think a lot of women, as we start learning, experiencing, and living life, like who cares if I'm doing it wrong? Because this not working. This not how I'm doing this. How y'all telling me to do this thing? It's not working. But let me figure out something different. And so I think that for a lot of for experienced women, it's like really coming into, I feel like 40 is really coming into like adulthood. Like 40 is 21 in spiritual years. It's like, oh, I'm an adult now, right? Like, oh, now it feels like I'm an adult because I've learned some things and I can do some things different. And now I have more wisdom and I can create and move differently and say, let's think about this. What do I want in a relationship? Do I want a relationship? Do I even like men? Do I even like myself? Like, we get to ask ourselves these questions and then move forward and figure that thing out, how it looks. So my daughter, who will be 25, I learned so much from her. I think like young people, have it relationships so much better already than we did with our programming, just different programming. So my daughter's like, Mom, like, you get to just be free and do whatever. And she's like, I'm not settling. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. And she's so unbothered, and she's so not like, just doesn't have a care in the world when it comes to relationships. And she's just like, I don't know. She's just like so detached from relationship programming, and it's just so beautiful to watch and see. And I just like, I like learn from that. And I'm like, I told you, I think young women are moving away from the old way of programming and how relationships should look and how they should be, and going for more authentic alignment, more, does it feel good? Are we on our soul purpose together? Like those type of different things. So I think that women are, and men too, to be honest, right? I feel like both, we're figuring this thing out and we're doing something different. The old way of relating wasn't working. And I think that we're figuring it out that it's not working. My friend had posted, he's a guy, I guess about the same age, we graduated from high school together. And he was like, why are people in their 40s still single? And I'm like, because it's the best time to be single, like a new teenager. It's like, yes, I am still on extended vacation. I've been in Colombia since the end of November.
Wow.
And people keep saying, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? And I'm like, when I get ready. Like, I don't even know how to answer the question. When I'm ready, I'll come back. And if I'm not, I won't. Like, I get to move, different. And then of course people are like, oh, are you finding a guy? Are you finding love? And I'm like, I'm finding so much love. Like, oh my God, but it has nothing to do with another person at all. But I have met some of the best people, men and women, since I've been moving around. But I always have, even when I was in the States. Like I met Xavier, right? Like I meet great people and wonderful people. So I think that we're just moving away from old programming and old ways of relating. I think that women are becoming more freer in their vulnerability and their sensuality. And even like she said, swinging that big old black, feminine dick, because you have to have masculine energy. We do have masculine energy, and how do you run a business? How do you go work out? How do you do these things if you don't exercise your masculine energy? And so I do all of those things. I run my own business. I work out 5 days a week. I'm in prep to do a fitness competition, like a fitness competition. So I have to be able to lift physically heavy weights. How do I do that? I tap into my masculine. How do I run my business? I tap into my masculine, right? I have to be able to do those things. So I think that we're just moving away from old ways of relating. It doesn't mean because you got a big old dick that you don't have feminine energy. And that goes for men too. Just because you swing it around your big old dick don't mean you don't have feminine energy. You do. You still have a vulnerable side. You still have a self-care and nurturing side. And so I think that we just, working out some things to get balance. So that's why I think women are naturally just choosing to be actually loved and to be loved. So, and if it's not like in alignment, it's just not going to work out.
That is so good, Kiana. I love that. I think you spoke my heart too. That was excellent. Yep, that was excellent. All right, Coach Kelly Porter, why do you think more women are choosing to be single?
If you look, I posted a little Facebook reel, and if you just look back and when we started dating, right? Some of us started dating at 16, 17, high school, grammar school. Then, the high school person became our college sweetheart. And we have this track record of dating and being in long-term relationships. And we didn't have a chance to really identify who we were or what we wanted. We just kind of mimicked what was in our household, right? And so as time passes, and being somebody over 40, and I'm 50, being in that space of the seasoned woman, you get to look back and you see how much energy you've given to relationships, and then you see how less energy you've given to yourself, And so I think if you look on a deeper level, women just want to rescue themselves. We want to save ourselves. We do not want to be in a position where we have to keep, the temple up. We want to take care of ourselves now. A lot of the ladies expressed a whole lot with conditioning and everything. And it's true. We have been in relationships all our lives, and a lot of us are just drained from our own energy, right? And then energies that's being projected onto us. And then when we get in that space and we realize that, hold on, I've been doing this by myself while you was here, so I could do this without you. And it leads us to a level of feeling so confident, just feeling beautiful about the space that we're in, and having the freedom, literally the freedom, no restrictions, no one's in your ear. You could truly be you. And unless I think somebody mentioned earlier, unless you're matching that energy, why would we be in a relationship with someone that has the potential to not match the energy, therefore either bringing our energy down, right? I mean, because that's the only thing you can do. But then I also think that going looking at both sides, because, everything is not positive, right? You got to balance. And so I think a lot of women are afraid to date. I think a lot of women are choosing to stay single because they would rather be in their own space than to continue giving themselves to men who are unhealed, right? So it's a double-edged sword. A lot of women aren't just staying single because they're happy in their space, right? Some women are staying single because they're afraid to date. They're tired of being hurt, right? Some women are staying single because they're identifying who they are and they're loving who they are. That's the space I'm in. I'm loving who I am. I get to move the way I want to move, right? I've been in long-term relationships, been the wife, the baby mama, the side chick, the mistress, you know what I'm saying? The community penis, a pussy, whatever, excuse my language, but the community vagina. Been there, done that, done all of that. And so for me, and I think like a lot of women, you really learn to love who you are, and you understand that I came here alone, right? I can live alone, and I'm going to die alone. So therefore, on this journey, right, that we call life, I could do this alone. Do we really want to? Most of us don't, but it's a choice, and we're choosing us first. Women are merely choosing themselves first. That's not what we were taught. Childhood, you're taught to choose the dog, your mama, doctor, the school teacher, the lawyer, the cat, the crossing guard, the streets. You're taught to choose everybody before you. And you're taught to take care of everybody before you. And you're taught to believe in everybody before you. And once you get a dose of what it feels like to believe in you, to choose you, to respect you, to value you, that's a space that becomes sacred now. It's a sacred space. And you want to evolve in that space, right? And with our past experiences, there are vibrations that we still got to move through. Every woman on here has vibrations that we have to move through. And in order to really attract what we truly desire, we got to make sure we're in that space. So being by yourself is sometimes the best place to be able to travel abroad and see who you want to see when you want to see it. Identify what you want your relationship really to look like. Identify how you're relating to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because in relationships, you're relating to another person. You forget about yourself most of the times. So it's many reasons why women are staying single. But at the end of the day, it's not something that needs to be judged. We've been in relationships. We've done everything society told us to do. We did it all. We did everything society set us up to do. We aspired to be married. We went to college. We got degrees. We had babies. We got married. We did all these things. We did all these things. But who did we do it for? We didn't do it for us. We did it because somebody told us to do it. Now we want to do shit on our own terms. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And if people have a problem with us choosing to be single, that's not our problem. That's their problem. You know, personally speaking, I can see myself being single easy 7 years because I got stuff I want to do, right? I want to give my time, energy, love to me, like I've given it to men. You know what I'm saying? And friends and family and nieces and children, you know, all of those people who I have exhausted myself, giving my energy to, let me pour into myself. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us are dying on the inside, literally dying on the inside, trying to care for other people because we are not taught to take care of ourselves. We are taught to put ourselves last. And you wake up one day at 40, maybe some people wake up sooner, but you wake up right around 40, and you're like, how did I get here? What is this? Like how did I get here? You know, my weight is not right. You know, my health is not right. You know, my finances. You look at your entire life and you realize that you have put yourself on the back burner for the entire life that you've been living. So be pissed off if you want to be pissed off because I'm choosing to be single. Because everything I've given to everybody else, I'm giving it all to me, and I have that right to do so. And just like every woman on here and every woman that might watch this has a right to just love herself and give herself that love that she's given everybody else. Because at the end of the day, if we're not taking care of ourselves, who's doing it? You could look at your past relationships and answer that question. You know what I'm saying? Because if you folded in a relationship, that's because no one was taking care of you, and you weren't taking care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's a variety of reasons, but at the end of the day, it's a choice. It's a choice. I can go out here and I can have sex with a man, and you can lock the door behind you when you leave, or I can go travel and just be by myself. It's my life, right? It's my life. I get to dictate how I want to live. And all of those programmings and conditionings and societal rules and laws, you know, dictating how women should live. You don't get to tell me how to live anymore. It's my life. If I don't want a man, I don't want a man. If I want a woman, I'm going to go get a woman. I'm going to do what I want to do in my life and my time in this space, right? Because I have arrived and I'm still becoming. But the person I am right now, let me just do me. Let me love on me. Let me shower, Kelly. Let me go on some dates by myself. You know, let me just be with me. I've been in this space before, but it wasn't a mentally healthy space. In my 20s, I was single for about 5 years, but it wasn't a mentally healthy place. You know what I'm saying? It was a place of instabilities and, you know, hidden insecurities and all of these low vibrations. The space I'm in tonight, I value myself today. You know what I'm saying? I am important, right? You know, I do matter. You know, I do choose me. And that's a space that you want to be with that for a moment, you know, because, you know, when you get in a relationship, it's now interdependence. It's like, you know, somebody's taking energy, you're giving energy, and it's not about you anymore. The space that we're all in, or some women, we just want to take care of us. We are not ruling out men. We are not disregarding men. We are not saying you ain't shit. We're not saying any of that. We're just saying, we did everything society told us to do. Now, can I just do me? And I'm congratulating any woman in that space. I'm applauding any woman that is in a space where she has done everything society has told her to do. And now she has awakened one day and just decided to choose herself. Congratulations to you.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
That was good too. All right, Miss Vonetta, I saved you for last because I know you have a slightly different view on stuff. But why do you think more women are choosing to be single? Or maybe it's actually not. Maybe that is what empowers you. So why do you think more women are choosing to stay single?
Well, I definitely want to say I'm glad I came behind Coach K because some of our stuff does align. Like far as I do want to touch on, we have been conditioned to be in relationships or conditioned to put other people before ourselves. So I was raised in a traditional family. My great-grandmother, my grandmother, my mother, they were all housewives. They didn't have careers. They took care of the home. The men in my family were men. They took care of the house, the bills, the finances. They did the masculine energy. The woman had the feminine energy. So as I was growing up, I was almost like torn between these two worlds. I was domesticated, but I also had a respect for the head of the households as well. I knew I wanted something different. I knew I didn't want to be someone's wife or even somebody's mother at a certain time. So it was kind of like, I'm going to take my upbringing, and I'm going to turn it into something that I want. I think the main reason why a lot of women are choosing to be single, because we can exercise our choices now. In my great grandmother's time, she couldn't exercise her choice. And if she did, she was really going to struggle. So she had to get married off. My grandmother, the same way. And my mom, it was just traditional that they were married off and be a mom and raise your family and so forth. At that time, they didn't have access to a lot of education. They didn't have access to a lot of jobs that they probably really wanted to do. I grew up looking at my mother, and I almost like resented her because I was a kid and I didn't really understand, because I'm like, why don't you do what you want to do? Like, why are you doing this? Or, questioning stuff when I wasn't probably supposed to question back in that era. I was like taught to, be quiet. No one asking you a question, shut your mouth. Now we're at a time where we don't have to shut our mouths. We don't have to be quiet. And I'm teaching my 15-year-old daughter, who soon will be 16, and let her know, you're a child. Be a child. I'm not going to condone you and accept you enter into relationships. You can have friends, and it's okay to like boys. And we talk about what that feels like. It's a natural feeling. We talk more. We information share more. I'm an information sharer. I know my purpose early on. So when I was raising her, I'll let her know, like, do what you want to do. What's best for you. Don't look at what's best for that person. Yeah, he likes you. So what? Ooh, great. He's going to keep on liking you. He's going to like you probably 20 years from now. Who cares? You need to, I'm still cultivating you because you're a child. Be a child. Be a kid. I do not put responsibilities on her that she's not able to handle. I keep her in a child's place. As you grow older, you'll start acquiring more responsibility. So that leads into me. The reason I choose to be happily single is because it's a choice. I want to exercise my choice. I enjoy my lifestyle because I was raised by my dad, and he taught me to have, if you want the lifestyle you want, go out and work for it. I'm the first woman in my family with multiple degrees. I'm the first woman in my family to run several successful businesses. It's something I want to do. That's what gives me joy, fulfillment, outside of being someone's wife. I don't want the responsibility of being someone's wife again. I was someone's wife before. I'm still somebody's mom. I even tell my kids, let's make a pact. When y'all turn 18, just call me Miss B, Miss something such and such, Empress B, because I don't want to be your mom no more. I'm like, I don't want to be a mom. I don't even want a remembrance of a mom other than the C-section, both of y'all. But I'm like, I want to be Vanetta, the Vanetta experience. I'm still experiencing my life just like you guys are a part of my life. Like, I don't put my children first. I know the natural order of life is God, me, and whoever at that time was my husband. He's no longer there. So it's still me, then the kids. So I understand the natural order of life. My children do not come before me. I tell my daughter, I don't look like my mother. I don't look like my grandmother. I don't look like my great grandmother. I'm 43 years old, and I'm very happy to say my age and be in a place where I'm at. I'm very happy with the lifestyle I choose to live, a luxury lifestyle, to take my kids travel. My kids travel. They get on a plane. We go somewhere every month. We don't have the 2-year vacation or only summertime vacation. No, we get on a plane if we want to get on a plane, or we're going to go live somewhere else if we're going to go live somewhere else. We don't have restrictions. We can execute our choices. And I'm happy that I can cultivate that type of environment for them where they don't have to like wait for something. I have my children, express to me how they feel. What do you want to do? I have them partake in their lifestyle. What do you guys want to eat? I'm tired of being the chef and planning stuff. What do y'all want to eat? So if you don't have any choice, like, we all have choices here. Oh, you don't want to live here? Because I can put you somewhere else. Like, you don't have to live here. Like, I let them exercise their choices because I'm exercising my choices, and that's how I choose to live my life. I don't want to be accountable and have the responsibilities to be someone misses. When I meet men and they show interest in me and they want to date me, and I'm like, well, I don't really date. I just say date because the world calls it dating and so forth. So if you want to go hang out with me, yeah, we can meet up. We can, go out, no problem. But I let them know from the jump, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm not looking to be remarried. I'm not having anybody's child and I'm not helping you take care of your children from previous relationships.
Amen.
Because I don't want you to be involved in my children's life. You don't have to help me cultivate them. They're very
You better
well
preach.
you know, they're very well off. We're well off than more working people. You know, like I had to tell one of my friends, I was like, you know, my son's a millionaire. As soon as they ask me out this world, my kids are millionaires. So it's because I prepared this lifestyle for them. So they're okay. So I don't have to have a masculine energy in my house every day. And I talk to my children about this. You know, my father comes over, he brings a masculine energy. I don't have a traditional household. And I talk to my kids about that. Like, a traditional household looks like this. Just because I don't give it to you doesn't mean I'm not going to share with a traditional household. That might be something you like, or you all look at TV, YouTube, TikToking, and you might see something that you want to create your life like, and that's fine. But I don't have to give you that type of lifestyle. In order for you to have information about it, we can discuss it and talk about it. You know, like I said, I talked to my daughter who's 15 and let her know you're not going to be in a relationship as a child, and this is why. You know, you're not cognitive ability is not matured for you to make certain decisions. You barely washing your ass correctly, let alone trying to figure out how to maintain this likeness from this boy at school, and he not even washing his ass correctly. You know. So it's certain things that I talk about. I'm like, it's things that you still have to mature in before you can even mature in a different area to even be able to have the bandwidth to handle a relationship with some boy you like. Just like the little boy, enjoy your time. You don't have to hold his hand, hanging all over him, kissing him. You don't have to do it. It's going to come a time when you're an adult, and hopefully you're cultivated enough to be able to deal in them environments, to understand what consent is. We talk about all this stuff, you know, information share with her all the time, because they're watching it on TikTok, they're watching it on YouTube. This generation is speeding up so much faster than when I was growing up. We didn't have all this stuff. So you have to adjust to their environment, what's around them, their environment, what's important to them in their environment. Talk to your children. That's what I do. And let them know you have choices. Whether you're going to make the right choice, that's up to you. It's going to be either good or bad. You know, you're a good person, you might make some bad choices right now. Like I told my daughter, you failing classes. How you even maintain some type of relationship and you failing? How you gonna help somebody in a relationship? How y'all gonna build and you can't even build a grade? Like that makes no sense to me. Like, make it make sense. So I try to break it down and help her understand like her environment, because I said no one talked to me about these things, and I would want that information to be shared, because the more information you have, the better that she'll be. I think Coach K or maybe someone else had mentioned, you know, the lack of something. We're lacking something. That's why we're like seeking it or trying to latch onto it, because we have daddy issues or mama issues, or we grew up in toxic environments and so forth. And we're all trying to heal from our past toxic childhood. It's like you have a choice now in your childhood. You can create, you know, what you want. You can express yourself. You know, I didn't have those choices growing up. So let's be able to exercise our choices. So I bring that back to women being single. Nicole was on here. She's part of my peer group. We hang out together. I've known her for like 7 years now. We hang out. We enjoy brunches. We enjoy parties. And we have a successful dating, meeting life and so forth. And it's just something, like I said, that's what we were able to build that lifestyle to. So if I find someone who are like, hey, you have stuff, I have stuff, you know, let's come together, it makes sense. But if it doesn't make sense, I'm not altering my life that I built for you. For what? I can still love you and not have to build with you. You can have your own building over here, and I can have my building over here, and I like what I do over here. And we can come together with, like I said, travel and good companionship and great sex. You know, I'm refusing to be in a relationship that we're not having sex often. Like, no, I just stopped my period. I'm like, I don't even want to bleed no more. I wish I could just take the whole uterus out if I can right now and be a lot happier. But it's like, I enjoy sex, but I've always enjoyed sex. So it's kind of like I have a very high sex drive. So I let men know that up front. So if you're not taking care of your health, which someone mentioned earlier, if you're not taking care of your health, you're not in shape, you're not healthy, I'm not interested in cultivating that into anything. Like, you're not going to drain me. Then I have to be like, did you check with your doctor? Did you do? I don't want to be your mother. That's something that you already have. I need you to come whole, like I'm coming whole. You know, I'm gonna pray for you, but it's nothing I can cultivate over there, because you should be able to cultivate that, sustain that yourself. You should be able to take care of your health yourself. I shouldn't have to tell you like, oh, did you go to the dentist? Did you check this? Did you check that? What's your eyes look like? You look like you're squinting over it. I'm not doing all that. If I gotta check on you, that's exhausting to me. I already I'm pulled in all this different ways. Why would I want to sit there and do that with you? And then it would get on my nerves if someone was poking at me all the time. You okay? You all right? You did it. Take care of yourself first. Then you can be able to enjoy somebody. You know, like I tell women, get what you want out of life. We take charge of our education. You know what kind of college you want to go study in. You know the career you want. You go after the career. You know what kind of car, whatever the case. You have all this control. Go after the relationship you want. You know, if you want a certain relationship, manifest it. Go after it, and then don't spend your energy with the men that's not giving you what you want. Just say, "Oh, nice meeting you. It was a pleasure," and keep it moving. Like, I'm not lonely. And I don't have a problem being by myself. Yes, I love men and I love sex, and I'm gonna take it for what it is. And I let him know that up front. You know, like I had a guy. I met him in an Uber. He was driving an Uber, but I didn't look down on him because he was driving an Uber, because I have a whole Turo fleet. I own 3 cars, and so it's like, okay, you never know what someone has. You know, but he was really interested in me, and I said, for what? I said, you know, I'm not looking to marry. Every woman doesn't want a relationship. I don't want a relationship. And he's like, oh man, like I'm 37 and I want to settle down. Well, you go settle down with someone who wants to settle down, who wants to be your wife, who wants to bear your children. I'm not procreating and bearing any more kids. Thank God I had some great genes. I got a boy and a girl. I'm done. I was done 9 years ago when my tubes got tied. Sorry you weren't in the equation, but I'm not altering my life to be with you. I'm not going to settle that what I created to be with you, because that's what you want. You know, you need to find somebody who wants the same things you want out of life. You know, and that's what I tell women. That's how I live my life. I get everything I want and manifest in life, and I show my children. And I even let them know, I'm exhausted being your mom today. Can I have a break? Because I need to pour into myself. Me and the Lord Jesus need to have a conversation, because I don't think he brought this type of child to me. So I need some time. I tell my children and let them know, like, hey, your mom is not 100% right now, so give me a moment, then I'll come back to you. You know, I think we need to be able to vocalize what we want, and the more we do that, the happier you'll be in life. And that's all. So
you kind of touched on my next question, because I'm sure you ladies know that, you know, guys that are watching this, some of them, that you can look at everybody and tell that, you know, we're not the unattractive group of women. But I want to ask this next question just to stop it from the beginning. So, Vonette, I'm going to start with you since you were the last one to speak. So you not wanting a relationship or not wanting to be married again is not because you don't attract men who want a relationship with you or want to be married.
Correct. Of course. I walk out the house, or I'm not even out the house. I'm on social media. I have a big social media platform called the Vonetta Experience. I'm on Facebook. I got over 5,000 fans. It's like I get DMs all the time. Instagram DMs, men stop me at the store. I was just at Target. You know, I have no problem attracting men, and I have no problem attracting men who want to be married or who want to be in a relationship. I have one guy, I call him African Bay. Like, he would tell, we are in a relationship and I want to be in a relationship with you. I want this, and this. He would tell me his wants. And I'm like, that's nice. But in order for this, I require this. Like I tell people, I still require a ring. If you want to be in a monogamous relationship with me, I require a ring. I require you to propose to me. I require some written commitments of what our relationship is going to look like, because I can be with any man I want. I have no problem getting any caliber of man I want, because like I said, I get what I want. I manifest what I want. I go after it. So I never have an issue of not getting what I want. So that's never an issue of, you know, why I'm single, is because I'm not getting the men I want. No, I got a lot. I'm like, some of the men, I be like, don't you want to date one of my friends? They might not look like me, but you can date her. But good Lord, like I got something that I can pass on to, you know. But in that is, I don't have a shortage of men.
Okay. All right, Tracy. So again, just to dispel the myth. So the reason that you are at this point choosing to be single is not because you don't attract or can't get a man, right?
Well, that's correct. I met I'll be 53 next month. And I mean, I have about this much patience on bullshit. I mean, like if you stepped in some dog shit on your way to me and I smell it, it's over. Like I'm literally have this much on bullshit. I really do. And so when I sense that you're not on the same page, or I sense that you're not gonna be able to incorporate yourself in my life flawlessly, I'll move on. I have my standards is like this. And you know, people, I have male friends that like, girl, you should, you know, you should date a guy with a dad bod. For what? What the hell I want a man with a dad bod for? What the hell?
What is that?
I'm not
Right. What is that?
Huh? A dad bod?
What is
A man with a stomach and got, you know,
Oh.
BMI probably out the roof. And I mean, I like tall, thin, very young men, and that's what I want, and that's what I'm going to get. I'm not going to settle, because just like the coach said, we have settled for so long. We have settled for men who want us and we didn't want them. We have settled because we were scared to go out on our own, and this man was offering us a lifestyle that we thought we wanted. And now I'm at a case like I'm not gonna settle. I'm just not. If you come over here and I don't know, one of your creases ain't that sharp, nigga, bye. It's just that little.
I cannot.
That little. And it might cause me to be single for the rest of my life or whatever, but I'm not single because I'm rich with self-love. I'm rich with I have beautiful, beautiful children. I have beautiful grandkids. I have beautiful friends. And I mean, dick is a dime a dozen. I got a lot of dimes.
Oh.
Be good.
Come on.
All right.
Come on.
So, Brandis. So,
yes. I'm sorry. I'm over here cracking up listening to Tracy.
She laid it out there, didn't she?
So,
yes.
The reason that you're choosing to be single is not because you can't attract, or are you still married? Okay.
I'm not married. I'm not married, and I was never married.
Oh, okay. So the reason that you're choosing to be single right now is not because you don't attract men or can't get a man, right?
No. You know, guys are all around. The love is abundant. And I date, you know, I'm dating right now. I date, I go out with people and we have fun. And for me, it's all for the experience of just getting to know them. And I feel like dating is just kind of part of my lifestyle right now. Like I said, I'm open, but I'm not pressed. You know, if I go out with someone, it's because I know I'm genuinely going to have a great time. We're going to go to places that I like to go. We're going to do things that I like to do. They're going to treat me in the way I like to be treated. And that's fun. And if it progresses to a place, then that's even better. And sometimes if it's not, then it's just fun to have people around to date. But, you know, there's lots of options for women out here. I just think it's nobody's super pressed, you know, like if people are a little bit more particular, I'm a little bit more particular about when I press that go button. And yeah, like when I do monogamy, like for me, monogamy also, I'm with you. It doesn't, I'm with the Vanetta experience. It comes with a ring. And it comes with some agreements about what's going on, because you're essentially trying to take me away from any other prospects that are available to me. So then you have to tell me what is it that you're here to offer if you want to take that off the table. And then that's a whole different conversation. But we're not doing boyfriends. Man, like I don't even think I believe in a boyfriend. I think maybe boyfriends are for teenagers, you know, like, yeah, because you can't do nothing. What you gonna do? Get married? No, you gonna have a boyfriend while you in the house with your mama and your parents still pay all your bills. But I think at this point, dating is great. You could you could call it a lover, a bae, a boo, whatever you want to do. But your man, you know, who you're adjusting your lifestyle a bit to build a lifestyle, baby, what we building on? What we building on?
Okay. I feel you on that. Absolutely. Kiana, so you're not choosing to stay single because you can't attract or get a man, right?
No, I don't think no woman, I don't care how she looks or how we think, you know what I'm saying, looks. I don't care about no size, wide, thin, tall, short, cockeyed, missing front teeth. Like, I don't think no woman will ever have a problem attracting a man.
Come on.
As long as they're a woman, I just don't believe that. And it's like jokes on like on Facebook, like if you just need to get like a boost, go to the gas station, right? Because you're gonna get all the hoops and hollers. Go to Home Depot. That's another good place. Like if you just need a little boost real quick to remind yourself how fabulous you are. But I don't think that being attracted the opposite sex is an issue. I think that the more the issue is what type of energy you're attracting. Are you still attracted from an unhealed place? And so that's when we get into like, or not so much what you're attracted, because if you like, you're going to attract everything. You're going to attract the moths and the butterflies, right? But then what are we attracted to? So yes, I believe I'm a beautiful woman, right? I take care of myself, and so I attract a lot of everything. But then I had to ask myself, what am I attracted to? Why am I choosing this type of person? Because ultimately, women choose, right? We ultimately choose who we're gonna, be with. Men don't. We like to give them like say that they do or whatever, and they could, they like you and they come and they do their thing, but ultimately it's the woman who's like, maybe not. Oh yeah, right. Then we like, yes, either one. And so we have to then look at not only what are we attracted, but what are we attracted to? Yeah, I don't think, but yeah, women, we're beautiful no matter what our appearance is. We're beautiful, and we are giving our pheromones to attract the opposite sex, so they're gonna be attracted to us, right? They're gonna be like, ooh, right? So I don't think that's the problem why women are single. I don't think no woman would have a problem getting a man, and not even keep one if that's if she wanted to be keeping somebody. I don't think that's the issue of why women are staying single at all.
All right, Coach Kelly, here we go. So you're not single because you can't attract or get a man, are you?
No, actually, I'm still married in the midst of a divorce, but people are still in my inbox. It's a little different here in Arizona because, Arizona's a white state, and I don't date outside my melanated brothers. I just don't. I get a lot of young guys, 30, 25, because I have young energy, But no, there's someone always trying to say something to me. And you know what I'm doing, though? I'm video dating. I'm video dating because I'm not getting up. I'm not getting myself cute. I'm not getting in my car, drive, burn gas, and potentially not like you. So if you can get past my video, then I'll come out and meet you. So that's what I'm doing right now, because I know that, me and my ex, it's over. That's, we're cool. Well, I don't know. I think he wants me back. It's not going to happen. But anyway, I've chosen to not allow that piece of paper to have power over me, because the marriage is over. So I do allow people in, but it's in a space where, like Kiana said, choosing. Let me hear you talk. Let me hear your mindset. Let me see where you are before I put myself in your space. You know what I'm saying? So the inbox, DM, Facebook, out here, like I said, it's just the younger guys. And I've decided a few days ago, there was this woman, she said she was 75 or 74 and her husband is 44. And I was like, wow. I say, okay, so, why is this conversation showing up for me? Because I get younger guys and I get resistant to it. But then I had to ask myself, well, you don't really want a relationship, so why not just have some fun with them young boys? You know what I'm saying? Why not just have fun? So I decided that I'm going to, not the 25-year-olds. My son told me you can't date anybody under 30. Because he's in his 20s, he's like, Ma, don't do it, But nevertheless, I'm opening the door to the 30-year-old, to just go out and have some fun with, because I don't want a relationship, But, these are the things that I'm looking at as I have men approach me. I'm looking at, what do I want to date? What do I want in my life? What do I want to play with, right? Because, like as we've all been talking about, it's our choice. What do I want to play with? Do I want to play with a 30-year-old? Do I want to play with a 50-year-old? You know what I mean? That's the space I'm in. If it shows up, whatever shows up, I've obviously attracted it. And if it's a low vibration, I'm checking myself, right? If it's high vibration, I'm vibing with it. So no, I'm not having any trouble getting anybody trying to holler. And let me just say this really quick. To all the men who watches X Fox show, If you have anything negative to say about any woman who has chosen to love and take care of herself, it's your problem, not ours. Hire a therapist and identify why you can't accept a woman who's finally loving herself. Identify why you cannot appreciate a woman who wants to love and take care of herself. All right? Because it's not us. It's you, my love.
All right, Coach Kelly. Okay, Miss B, we
Yes.
started together, so I figured I would ask you the question last. So I know you're not choosing to be single because you don't attract or can't get a man.
Absolutely not. That's not the issue. But what I think, and I don't know that I'm choosing, like I said, I don't think it's so much of a choice. But I do believe for myself personally, it has a lot to do with not being absolutely clear about what I like and want in a man. You know, you have to start from a position of honesty. And today, you know, I came to realize that I'm still, you know, I'm still not clear in a lot of areas. And that will attract confusion. I realize that I attract what I am. And so when something shows up that is something that's unacceptable to me, then I have to look at myself and I'll tell that person, listen, you're a nice person. You know, you know, it's not you, it's me. You're a nice person, but it's not matching ultimately what I believe I want out of a man. So that keeps me where I am insofar as being single. I think that me personally, I have work to do, that I haven't done all of the work yet. So, you know, as I'm working myself through the kinks of it, I see different things come along that just are not working for me. But I believe that when I'm in alignment with myself, I will manifest the right person for me. You know, that the vibration that I broadcast, that I send out, will bring back to me, you know, I will attract what it is that I'm looking for. And so I think my singleness has a lot more to do with what's up with me, the work that I personally need to do. When I heard the coach talk about the younger men, I get the younger men. And when she says this woman is 74 dating a man that's 44 and that works for her, I can't tell you how many men in their 40s I turn away because I go, well, listen, you know, you're all right for fun, but ultimately, could you really be with me long term and be in a happy relationship with me? Could I with you? Because this is my year to be 67. And
Yeah,
so
nobody believes that. See, you don't look at you in 67 in any means, by any means.
No, and you know, and I know I don't act that way. You know I don't show up that way. You know, but in a private situation with a man that age, I go, you know, I got to just do this for what it is, you know, for the fun time tonight, for the good sex today, and not get too hung up on well, whether or not it can be a relationship. So the reason why I'm single is because I'm not ready.
Okay.
I'm not ready.
Okay.
And that's still a choice, V. I knew you were saying it's not by choice, but that's a choice. A choice you're not ready, and you've acknowledged that a lot. I think most women haven't gotten to the point where they haven't acknowledged that they're not ready. Some women aren't ready. You know?
I'm not ready. And I think when I was married for 32 years, you
Wow.
know. So I've you know, like someone else on the panel said, I did everything by the book. You know, I finished school, I got a degree, I married my college sweetheart. His family life and my family life matched. We were a match at that time in every area, you know, and we did it in order. We got married, we bought a home, we had children, we raised the children till they were done, and then we went our own separate ways. And so once I got out from all of that, I felt like I needed to explore what everything else was. So I've been out here, you know, living my life and exploring and whatever. And now I get to this age that I am now and think, am I ready for that? Am I ready? I'm not ready, but I'm working on.
And it's okay.
And it's okay. And I don't even know that I'm working on attracting a man that I want to necessarily marry, but certainly somebody with whom I can be compatible and happy. And chances are he's going to have to be younger, because I'm like the, you know, the V experience. I'm looking for sex regularly. You know, I'm not sick, nor have I ever been. I don't get headaches. You tap my shoulder, I roll over. I'm ready. I'm
always
ready
open.
to
Yes.
go.
Ready to go.
I'm so ready that I have to check myself all the time, because I send out ready signals. I'm gonna and I say things that make men know that I'm ready. And as soon as you give them the signal, they're ready. And then they come on ready, and I go, oh, but wait a minute, I'm ready, but not for you. I don't like this package that you're in. I don't like what you're presenting to me.
That part.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm so big on dating young. So I don't like older men. And people are like, what's older? You're 43. And I'm like, you older than me, usually in their 50s. I'm not really excited to be like, because I haven't really dated men in their 50s or dealt with men in their 50s. So like, I am concerned. I'm concerned your erection might not be as what I'm used to, you know, enjoying. And I'm going to be concerned if you don't make it past a certain, you know, time limit for me. I'm not just going to take
Because I'm going to cheat.
Right, because I'm gonna always get my orgasm. I tell any woman, if you lay next to a man and if he finish, you better hump on his thigh or something. Like, get your orgasm. You better get the rose and finish it off with something. But
So
I just somebody
I just want to say real quick,
healthy sex life with.
I just want to say real quick for everybody that's backstage right now, because I did that to, again, the quality and the sound quality. So if anybody backstage has something else they would like to say as we start to wrap up, just raise your hand in just a few minutes so I can see you. If you got something else you want to say and you're backstage. Okay, I see you, Tracy. All right. Brandis. Okay. All right, I'm gonna bring you guys back on. It might not be immediately, but I'm gonna get you back on before we wrap up. Okay, Vonetta, go ahead and finish what you were saying, because you sent me a message, so I knew you had something to say.
Yeah, so I wanted to capitalize, and I'm glad a lot of women are saying like they like younger, because men for many years they were only dealing with younger women. So now that we have a choice, that we can exercise our choice to be with younger men, and I prefer younger men. A younger man to me is like my 35 to my age. It's like I like that nice little the warm and middle ground right there. I don't want to date someone really young, 30, 25. I'm not even like turned on. And I don't want to date an older man, because I don't like old balls, and I don't like the camel stomach. I'm not trying to hump a camel. I like to do certain things, and I like the energy level. I don't like diabetes dick. I don't want to be there when you're going through your ailments. I'm not doing that. I'm not a caretaker.
No. I don't want heart disease dick. I don't want blood pressure dick. I don't want diabetes dick. And believe it or not, I met somebody on Facebook dating, and he had all of those problems, and had the audacity to eat bad and chain smoke.
Oh my God.
That was boom, done.
And then
and I'm not doing drunk dick either. I don't want your drunk dick.
Yeah, I don't want no
I don't want your cocaine dick.
But to just like I said, I had something to say, and then I also reflected. I asked men, was your mom happy? Did you grow up with a happy mom? Did your mom look like me when you grew up? Was she happy? Did you ever look back in your childhood and ever ask if your mom was happy? Ask your mom if she's happy now. It's like like Coach K was saying, that we sacrifice or we give up so much. And happiness was one of the major ones. We wanted our kids to be happy and the man to be happy, but then no one cared about our happiness. Now I'm like, no.
Right. Ask your mama, would she do it all over again with
Ooh.
the same man?
Ooh.
Yeah. And that's all I have to say. But I appreciate you bringing on Michelle,
Okay.
Xavier, and we will be in touch. But I'm gonna be quiet so other women can say what they need.
And let me just say this other thing about meeting men and the sex thing. Usually, because of the energy I give off, right at the onset, they let me know what the size of their penis is and whether or not it works. And if they don't, we're gonna do a check. Okay, so I'm doing a check. I'm doing a package check. If we're talking on video, then I need to see it go from sound asleep to all the way awake, and then I need to see the happy ending. So you're going to do that for me.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh my God.
You understand me?
Okay. All right.
Because I'm not gonna go off somewhere with you, and then you show up with heart disease, blood pressure, diabetes, drunk, cocaine dick, and it's not working. You're gonna have to go get up right now, put it on and get on out. Because it's early, I might be able to get somebody else over here.
Oh my God. Okay, so we definitely are choosing. We making choices over here. Tracy, go ahead. What did you want to say?
Whoo, girl, you blew my wig back. I'm looking like that. So, well, I'm gonna touch on two things right quick. As far as younger men, for whatever reason, I've always attracted younger men. Younger men has always been in my face, and when I say young men, like I'm dating a guy now, I think he might be 31. But when I tell you, and I'm like I said, I'll be 53 next month. When I tell you that man worships the ground I walk on, I can do no wrong in his eyes. I mean, he is so accommodating. I'm older than his mother. I'm older than it, but he's so accommodating. I mean, when we get together, I don't touch a knob. I don't pay for anything. I mean, he helps me with my coat. And I'd be like, are you helping me with my coat because you think I can't put it on? And he said, no, I'm helping you with your coat because that gives me another excuse to touch you. That man, he gonna make somebody a great husband. I don't want him like that and the sex is great and his package is beautiful and he looks like a black Jesus. He's tall, about 6'4", skinny, dark skin, dreads, beautiful, and he treats me like a queen. So
does he have a brother? That's a twin.
Well, he's the middle child, so he got a younger and an older brother.
Which one do you want?
But
at Miss B Nightlife on Instagram.
I've learned to not look at every man as a prospective mate because they do not look at us as prospective mates. And if you learn to look at them and put them in the content on which you want them to deal with and not look at a fuck buddy and then want to change him to your husband, he should remain your fuck buddy. And your husband or somebody you want to look at as a husband, you should pursue that mindset with just that man if he fits that category. And where I messed up a lot of my years is trying to interchange them. I'm messing with a thug. He GD down to the draw. The man just a street nigga all the way. And then when he didn't act like a gentleman, I'm like, well, what's wrong with you? No, what's wrong with me trying to change that man to something that I need? He was there for a purpose, and you leave him in that purpose. And 9 times out of 10, he'll be there when you get back, because men usually kind of stay in their lanes. And you go and you do what you want, and you come back and you get what you get, and you going about your business. But when girl, let me tell you something. You have given me hope. When people tell me I look like I don't look, this young man told me yesterday. He says, "Did you just graduate from college?" I said, "Dude, I'm 50. I'll be 53. I got all my kids is graduated from college." You have given me hope to know that, honey, 20 years from now, I'm still gonna be this beautiful. My skin's still gonna be tight. I ain't got no crow's feet under my eyes. Pussy still don't work. I worship you. You give me hope.
Yep.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. And your coochie will still be juicy.
Oh, even more. Even more. And I'm sorry, where's Miss Vanetta? Miss Vanetta, I don't know how your DNA or how your body makeup, but about 5 years ago, I went to my doctor and told him I wanted birth control. And she says, well, you're approaching menopause. Do you want birth control? I said, I just don't want a period. I don't plan on getting pregnant. I'm a catch and swallow chick. I don't get pregnant.
Okay.
I just don't want a period. So I have my little implant in my arm.
Okay.
Don't have a period. And I'm like 3 years into menopause.
Okay. All right, Brandis, you had some final words for us.
Well, it seems to be along the vein that we are discussing now, and I just wanted to. I didn't want this topic to get away with at least addressing it from a sexual perspective, because some of the reasons why Black women have felt so easygoing and okay with their choice to remain in that single lane is because, you know, as women, as we start to love ourselves and we start to really embrace our capacity to feel pleasure and to, you know, be sexy and juicy and release that feminine sexuality within ourselves, then sometimes, you know, the partner who you're with may not be able to roll with you on that journey, or you are out there and you may be having sex with guys who nothing about them sexually maybe not be wrong, but it ain't the one to keep you locked down. It ain't the one to tie you down for forever. So I just want to, you know, sometimes I try to speak with my brethren about really how to please a woman, and you know what it means to really pleasure a woman and to make that sure that her pleasure is a priority. And I know a lot of guys just really aren't familiar with how to please a woman as opposed to how to have sex. Lots of guys know how to have sex. They know how to beat it up. They know how to hit it from the back. They know how to smack it up, back. But in terms of really, really loving a woman and pleasing a woman and make sure you're prioritizing her pleasure and that you have the capacity to prioritize and grow as her pleasure grows, that's also really, really important as to why, you know, sometimes women are like, well, maybe I'll just date, because at least then I get, you know, a little bit of a variety, and occasionally I could come up on the jackpot, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Miss Brandis. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, Miss Brandis.
Yes.
I second that emotion.
So, Miss B, I thought I would wrap up the show with you since we both do shows regularly. What did you think of today's show?
This was absolutely fantastic. I'm going to model myself more after you now than ever before. I love, I love the organization of it. I love the way it flowed. The questions were poignant and on point. The variety of answers and points of view that we got from women who are all over the country with a multitude of experiences to share was phenomenal. I know there were so many golden nuggets in this show today. There's so much that both women and men can get from it. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I loved the multitude of viewpoints that were expressed today.
Well, we definitely gonna do it on Zoom next time, because I'm just tired of playing with StreamYard. And this actually was my first all-female panel. Wow. So I just really enjoyed it, and I really want to thank everybody for coming on the show. It was a great show. I hope everybody that watched it enjoyed it. And ladies, if you're still backstage, I want on my Facebook page, because there were comments and questions and things. And so just check in over there and answer some of the comments and questions, respond a little bit, interact with the viewers and stuff. That's always a plus. And I just want to thank you all for tuning in to the Xavier Fox Talk. This is a monthly podcast, so check in next month, and we'll have another great conversation. Who knows what it'll be about? Something will hit me between now and then, and I'll keep you guys updated. So you have a great night. I'm signing out. Peace.